Hello and welcome to this, I guess, non-plus watch episode. For quick context, Cedric and I, say hello, Cedric.
Hello, Cedric.
Cool. I've been really wanting to watch these two Fleischer movies, and Cedric is a noted, Cedric right here is a noted hater of everything Fleischer. Everything from
Fleischer.
Betty Boop to Bimbo the dog. Everything.
That's right. He hates Bimbo the dog. Like, what are you trying to say? I like the Superman Fleischer
I'm making
stuff.
it like a really shitty, like Discovery Channel show.
Alright, well, before we lose the plot, I want to say that I only like the Superman Fleischer stuff because it doesn't look creepy as hell.
Yeah, you hate it because you think it looks creepy, but I don't think any... The thing about it, I've never seen either of their films, and there's very little coverage of both of them on, like, YouTube. Not that I wanted to make this for coverage, I just wanted to make the kind of content that I would enjoy when it comes to these films that are so...
Andrew, what confuses me the most is that you've been like, we have to see these films, and
I could have seen them in my own time.
Under that same context, I'm like, I hate almost everything related to Fleischer stuff. So it's a wonder why I've been putting this off for so long.
Well, but the reason I'm doing it, you know this, is because I think it would make like a funny commentary video that I would love to have on like movies like these because I find them so fascinating and you hate everything about them.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, that'd be funny. Let's make a funny video. But here we are anyway. We're not going to stall any longer. They made two movies. First one is Gulliver's Travels in 1939. I have never seen this. I've only seen like scant reviews of them on YouTube. Cedric has no idea what is going to be in this film.
Do you?
I don't either.
Okay.
But I've seen like clips of it with like narration over it. There are two reviews I want to say of these on YouTube, and
the other one's called Mr. Bug Goes to Town, and don't those two titles sound like the most riveting shit you've ever heard in your life?
Yeah.
It's a wonder I don't
actually
see these.
I think they sound cool.
Okay.
Take the cape off. It's definitely Spider-Verse. Like,
Yeah.
take the cape off. I think it's cool.
Alright.
Anyway.
I just want your cape.
Alright.
Start the video.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Turn up the volume.
It's a Paramount production.
Oh boy.
There it is. I've heard so much about him and his travels.
I hope Jack Black appears on screen.
Jonathan Swift. Remember that video Jonathan Swift comes back from the dead to eat a cheese sandwich?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I don't actually.
It was the best. It's one of my favorite videos.
I gotta turn this up a little bit more.
I think it's too loud.
Is it too loud? Are you sure?
Look at the audio waves.
I guess so.
Wah, wah, wah.
I'm trying. Since it's an older movie, I have to make sure the volume is like perfect to make sure that we don't fuck up
shit on it
anything.
too hard.
No, because you know what I mean.
Just know what's going on anymore.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
Holy shit! Oh, what are the odds?
I, Lamo Gulliver, give thee a faithful history of my most interesting adventure in the South Sea. On the 5th day of November.
Remember. The 5th of November.
The 5th day of November, 1699.
These are summer.
Reached 30 degrees.
That's in a great furry suddenly.
I think he hit a storm. Oh, look at that water. I like the way this looks. What are you talking about?
Water.
I mean, it certainly isn't Disney water, but it looks nice. It ain't no Pinocchio water.
Pinocchio water was still being drawn in the color department.
You're correct. It's Link's Awakening, dude.
Gulliver's Awakening. DX.
Director's cut.
Real guy.
He's rotoscoped. Yes.
Yeah, I can tell. Christ. Looks like a fucking crayon. Alright.
What do you mean he looks like a crayon?
He
looks
looked.
Oh, he looked like a crayon.
Yeah.
And then Gulliver died.
Never to be seen again. The hell? They're really trying to do Disney. Oh, I hate this. I fucking hate this. Oh, God.
Cedric just has this, like, are you kidding me look on his face.
I don't want to listen to this guy's voice for an hour. Oh, so it's a wonder you put this off for like 6 weeks or whatever.
One thing I have heard about this movie, through that one aforementioned YouTube review I've seen, is that the pacing is not very good.
Is he about to spend 10 minutes doing this?
I don't know. I've never seen this film.
They are really trying to do a Disney.
Yeah. I'm gonna sing this tomorrow.
I'm gonna fucking scream if you start singing anything related to this.
He gets crushed in his hand.
Oh, it's a background.
Yes.
Oh, they animated all 5 fingers.
Yeah, they had to. Snow White did it.
Didn't Disney start doing that before?
Disney, oh, Jesus. Disney animated like 3 fingers for their for their other cartoons they did before Snow White. He's the fastest thing alive.
This was 50 years before Sonic.
I know. Wouldn't that scare the shit out of you? So why do you hate old cartoons, Cedric?
I've said it on the channel, but I don't like them because of the way they move. Like the old black and white Betty Boop things, they creep me out. The way they move just is uncomfortable to me.
Really? I think they're cute.
Yeah, and I like them in Cuphead, probably because it's more like I'm trying to stay alive. But the way that... I think it's that in combination with the old audio, which is probably why I still like Bambi and stuff,
guess so,
even though it has old audio. But it's the way they move in combination with that really just freaks me out.
I think it's cool. I don't know what to say about it other than I really, really like the way it looks and moves.
What I don't understand is that you said you fell asleep to them.
Yeah, I used to put on Betty Boop compilations until recently.
The fact that there's a Betty Boop compilation just screws
Of course
with my
there are. They
head.
made like tons of those.
Compilations? What?
Yeah.
This is the plot of Sleeping Beauty.
Is this Prince Eric? What's his name?
Not Eric.
What was it from Sleeping Beauty?
It was like...
Eric.
No, it was like... is it Henry?
No, it's definitely not Henry.
It's not Eric. That's the Little Mermaid.
You're correct. This is the same dynamic as the Sleeping Beauty thing. You know what's weird? Oh, Jesus.
He goes back and beats the shit out of him.
His voice sounds very familiar.
I hate it.
Why don't you like the way it moves?
Well, I don't hate it as much because you can tell they're just trying to do what Disney did.
Well, what about this was very... Well, it's... I can see that this is like kind of Disney-esque, but...
No, there's so much influence there. You see it.
I guess so.
They all move like Disney.
That's not how it works, Cedric. They moved like their own thing, I suppose. I thought he was gonna eat the ring.
Take the ring.
I think what you mean is that they're making it overly whimsical.
Sure, let's go with that.
Because that's not how Fleischer cartoons were.
Is this like a Fleischer cartoon?
It is. It's a Fleischer Studio movie.
No, is it moving like a Fleischer? Because it doesn't feel like it is. It feels like it's moving like fucking Pinocchio.
Well, Pinocchio wasn't out.
You know what I mean?
I think you mean they're trying to make everything overly whimsical to the
No,
point of
you
just
know
like,
what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about? You mean the over like, whoa, what's this item down here?
Yeah, because the movies like that were just proven to be successful like 2 years ago.
You mean the one movie that existed?
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yes.
Snow White changed the whole game, and these things are moving like the dwarves did.
Oh, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, then just say that. We shouldn't have started so late. Look how in love they are.
It's just real people being rotoscoped as shadows.
It's not though.
Are you sure? They move
Yes.
so humanly.
No, they don't.
No, these are how people moved in the 30s.
They moved differently back then, don't you know?
Humans hadn't evolved into modern.
Yeah, they didn't move as smooth back then. play them both at the same time. I didn't know that cake was bad for you in the 30s. It tastes good like a cigarette should.
It said cake, not
I
cigarettes.
was referencing cigarette commercials.
The one cigarette commercial.
Yeah, the one that exists.
It's a Winston cigarette. Fred, can we move on?
I was thinking about what you said. When you're like, I don't like the move like Disney. Are they gonna declare war over music?
This is foreshadowing. What is that?
You know what's weird? The rubber hose era ended when Snow White came out. You know?
That doesn't sound weird at all.
What do you mean?
This is the weird shit I'm saying.
So, like, I feel like the Fleischer at this point was caught between doing more rubber hose stuff and like trying to emulate what Disney did. So you have this weird mismatch between the two. Oh, now they can't be together. It's Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, maybe the
Look how frowny the birds are.
birds are crying.
Oh, yeah. They
God,
move
his
all-
face is melting.
They have no bones, yeah.
You're just gonna go and scream war into the streets.
That's what I would do. Jesus.
There will definitely not be
Wow,
any
this
war.
This isn't copyright infringing at all.
What do you mean?
This is how Snow White began, where he goes like, one love.
Now that I found you, I do think it is a little interesting how the more something that would be banked upon like King and Queen,
Yeah.
future King and Queen characters are like peripheral characters, but they still get the songs.
I think my biggest issue with the songs up to this point is that there's no segue into them.
I mean, yeah,
Like, they didn't know how to do it.
for a
Yeah.
while.
They didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Well, then there was one animated musical, but there were tons of musicals in film at this point. So you can't make that excuse. They think it's just sloppy. Why is this GIF on the screen for so
I
long?
hate
Oh my
this.
God.
I fucking hate it. It's having an episode.
Yes.
It's like Double D.
For heaven's sake, Gabby, open your mouth. Can't you see I have a war on my hands? Be off it.
Ed.
Positively fascinating. The idea of war.
Eddie, no. Come back, reconsider your action.
I found a quarter on the beach, Double D.
Giant,
He's the most irritating characters in the world. I want to see Gulliver in Gulliver's Travels.
Cedric looks so done right now.
Stepping on the beach.
I think now's as good as time as ever to mention that we've never read Gulliver's Travels before.
Is this the iconic Gulliver bondage scene? When I tie him up?
Why would it be in bondage?
Because it's funny.
We accidentally put him in a sexual situation.
That's the worst. That's the worst. Don't put that in.
I'm putting it in.
Oh. We're gonna kill the beast in his head, in his bed.
I can't believe Disney ripped off Gulliver's Travels. I mentioned this earlier, but it doesn't. The characters aren't really convincingly on the backgrounds in this film. I think this was also rushed for a holiday release, if I'm not mistaken.
Kinda has that feel.
where is it?
What's next? Sequin milkshakes?
Bow-tied French fries. I'll open my own restaurant.
Oh, I'm on his heart. And they cut out his heart and stare at it.
I guess you're right. And then Gulliver's like, what the fuck are you doing?
He's like, ah!
The background changed. It's almost like it's about to move. I was right, yeah.
He fucking turns into DeviantArt expansion artwork. Never mind.
He's just breathing. That is just dopey. Oh my god.
Are you finally realizing
Yeah,
what I'm talking about?
This movie's way more derivative than I realized.
This smashes shins in. This actually feels so much like Snow White's pacing.
How so?
Well, it's just this long, drawn-out scene where nothing much is happening, but it's like a significant plot moment, and also.
Name me one from Snow White that took this long.
The scene from Snow White.
Oh, that
It's
like
like
30-minute scene.
yeah.
Let me think. Well, there were things constant. The reason Snow White was so entertaining is because there were things constantly happening, and there were characters with multiple personalities.
Here
Not
you just got a bunch of guys.
Well, the
doing
thing
a
is,
bunch
they're
of
way more
bullshit.
animated than like the gnomes from like 2 years before Snow White. But
But they're not as merchandisable. How did this film do?
I think it did okay. Watch the rope just break and have him tie it over again.
Oh, the big pillar just smacks into his skull and crushes it into a fine paste.
And then the movie cuts off.
And he just starts spilling
And then the
out
war
like-
happens and everyone
Yeah.
dies.
All the little creatures start spilling out like wine.
I don't want to imagine that.
It's a gross visual.
It'd be too well animated. Like, it's animated very
This
well.
process is really intricate and creative, but can we speed it up a little?
The reason I'll defend the big 30-minute scene in the middle of Snow White is because things were constantly happening. We had 7 very vibrant characters to bounce off of.
But this is just one action over the course of like forever.
Very drawn out. Oh no. Okay. I thought the car was gonna break and they were gonna have to build the wheels.
Hold the wheels back on and shit.
I don't know what they would do around here without me.
Everyone would be dead probably.
Nah, don't sit on his Adam's apple.
He crushes his neck.
And it only took 20 minutes of our real-world time.
You know, for a movie called Gulliver's Travels,
Yeah, he's traveling, see?
it's Gulliver and he's traveling.
And wanna die.
And then have to slowly put the rope back on. What the shit? Good.
The pacing really isn't good in this. I thought...
This pacing sucks. It starts out really fast and good, and then as soon as they go to the kingdom, it just slows to a crawl.
War, huh?
I've got the giant. The giant? Oh, yes, the giant.
Remember that episode of Flapjack?
Okay.
He's like,
Poseidon?
he'd have like, I have 8-armed Willie, singing songs, and storm along the harbor.
So it's not
You said he had to be
He's
singing.
singing.
Okay.
They clearly had fun drawing that.
Why do they have their chests puffed out?
Because they had fun
They had
drawing
like a Sonic Adventure Idol animation.
Yes, but they're also caricatures. How long have we been watching this? At least like 30 minutes now, I hope.
It feels like they lost the plot.
He has a gun. A big gun that really...
Shoot him in the head.
And then they all die. When are those 3 obviously villainous figures gonna come out and present themselves? The rotoscoped man is awake.
He's a real life guy.
Eats him. It's all really like detailed.
That would be horrible. That's terrible.
It'd be funny.
No.
Like, it's this really happy movie, and then like he eats him for no reason.
That's how it ends.
Eh. Look at this tiny man.
He sneezes and he wipes out the entire population.
The flood warning.
Ready?
I think I know why people don't talk about the Fleischer movies very much.
Why, Andrew?
Because, well,
They're bad.
it's paced really badly. And then Gulliver sort of forgot about the Iron Fleet. There it goes.
Where's everyone gone?
This loud booming voice bursts their eardrums.
He laughs and everyone collapses.
Yep. All the humor in this recording is really existential.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Look at it. This movie talks about war and, like...
That's it.
The sheer concept of the tiny people and the huge person thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of existential concepts. Two countries torn apart by war. A big man.
And that's it.
Then he burps in his face.
Everyone dies. As well.
It's like, this is all my shit.
Why didn't this become the meme for that?
Why?
Just take an image of this and just put that meme text, like, this is all my shit.
This is so weird.
He's just looking back and forth for several seconds.
They try and back up.
Get him. God, they really... That style really clashes.
I think that's the plan.
But when I look at something like Snow White, it's done in a way where... Oh my god.
They drew her as like a cartoon first.
They drew her as like a cartoon woman, yeah. Well, so, she was rotoscoped to like a degree. But it wasn't so, like, realistic in comparison. Her movements were
Goes
definitely...
right through his mouth. Okay.
Like, Snow White's movements were definitely more realistic, but her design isn't as realistic
She
as
still
Gulliver.
felt like a cartoon.
Yeah.
So while you work...
Yeah, it sounds a lot like that. I think the review I saw said that as well, but good lord. I didn't expect it to sound almost exactly like Whistle While You Work. What's your opinion on this part?
I have none. I have none. Remember that Futurama episode?
With Bender?
Yeah.
Ah.
Slits his neck. Oh god!
Remember that Clone High episode?
Gets really bad razor burn.
The razor blades in this one.
Mr. Gulliver, you just caused an earthquake.
Mr. Gulliver is complete.
10,000 years later.
And I was watching AI.
Oh god. They did end it like that, didn't they?
Yeah. This bird is like high or drunk. One of the two. Like what the hell is with him?
Why is he like that? They didn't establish anything with the bird. Why is he like that?
I think it's because stupid was like a cartoon character trope for a long time until it just wasn't at the turn of the millennium, or decade rather. Yeah. I think they miss each other, Cedric. I can't tell, but...
They're in love!
Dear spies, get rid of that giant or else.
Cordially.
I thought that was an N. King Bomb.
Cordially.
Wouldn't his claps give off seismic waves through the air?
These claps would burst their eardrums.
They're really cute looking. I hope they just go boop boop doop.
I'll be pissed if they do.
Yeah, this really is a wannabe Disney film, ain't it?
It's like this silly song.
Yeah, this is the silly song before it was like Whistle While You Work.
Yeah.
There was also
Has
like...
a well-animated hand, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what was the reference for this?
I assume a real hand.
Like, dancing with it?
I don't know who the because I know that for Coco the Clown, Max Fleischer dressed in the clown costume. But I don't know if Max dressed as Gulliver for this.
He falls and dies. And you never see him again for the rest of the movie.
The King Graham, like, falling sound effect from King's Quest V
Yeah.
comes.
We'll have him eat a poison apple. Or just give him poison. Alright.
Was it supposed to be a knock at Snow White? This film was boring, kinda. Gulliver's thunder machine.
Shoot him with his own gun. What if he gets shot with his own gun, but then he's like, bullets don't affect me anymore? My gun.
My thunder device.
My thunder machine. Can this fucking thing just hurry up and end already? Oh!
He starts singing.
This would wake everyone up.
Who cares? It's a cartoon. He's really too well rotoscoped. I know. When I say that, I mean he really clashes with the cartoon.
He just looks like a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no flair, like stylization to him.
His hair brown made him red.
Like Coco the Clown had like style to him. That's what made him memorable, and that's why he was groundbreaking.
Snow White looked like a cartoon lady, also.
Yeah, but she moved realistically,
and she didn't clash with like the huntsman, you know?
Yeah. This boat is too tiny. Make it bigger.
He's like, what the fuck? And then he slams it on all of them. He kills them.
He goes, there's not nearly enough rope. What are they even talking about? What? I don't really like this very much.
No.
I'm getting a headache just watching it. Oh my god.
I'm tired. I'm sleepy.
I'm gonna cry. What was even the point of that conversation? This feels like the studio wanted to do something different. And they were like, no. Make it slower. My, Avatar. You have failed me once again.
I am so fucking tired. Isn't this movie done?
Calm down, God.
No one cares about these people.
They're in love. Look. Look how in love they are.
I'm in love.
What was that one? Do you remember that? Do you remember the song from that really bad version of Thief and the Cobbler? The Don't Fight Your Feeling? Yeah.
Oh.
Says my heart, a heart I must obey.
No, I don't remember.
Am I feeling love? I got it. This movie's taking fucking forever.
Yeah.
There she goes. Concealing a spy. And in a time of war, too. That makes it worse.
Have these two said anything to each other outside of song?
You should say, what's going on? Let's talk about it.
I cannot believe that the two lovebirds of the film barely said anything to each other outside of song. He's just such a good guy.
He was holding him upside down there.
Yeah, he must have been scared shitless. I like that. It's funny.
Sing faithful and forever together as one song.
I was gonna make this joke like 5 minutes into the movie. I had no idea this was gonna
They'll
be.
play one song. The perfect song ever written. And then they give it to the sister as a birthday present. She goes, now what's my present?
He says the song was your present.
No one's gonna get that. It's way too obscure now. See, the thing about Disney films that made them so groundbreaking is because everything moved so realistically.
What do you mean?
Like I said earlier, how like Snow White effectively ended the rubber hose era. But it's not to say that rubber hose cartoons of that sort of style weren't being made. It's just that when
They
a
just fell out
studio
of
like
prominence.
yeah, and when a studio like Fleischer tries to have both halves of this cake and eat it, like this, oh, we're gonna be like Disney, but we're also going to have like we're gonna animate it the same way we animate every other short we've ever done. And it just clashes, and I don't know if it works.
It doesn't. I
Not
don't like it.
not stylistically or like tonally.
What do you want me to say? Oh no!
I detour. I put him in.
So you'd never see that in Disney.
What? They put him in a sack.
The
It's just
detour.
XXX.
Detour.
Oh.
The detour gag.
There's the Iron Fleet. This is how it should have been.
If only they had a big guy to fight their battles.
In Game of Thrones, Gulliver shows up, and it turns out everyone was really tiny the whole time.
Oh, you're wrecking my brain.
That'd be hilarious. I would have loved that. They just turned Game of Thrones into Gulliver's Travels because they just gave up. Gulliver's such a good guy. You cannot escape. You will die on your ship.
Then he hauls them over his
Come with
shoulder.
me.
And, like, throws them forward. Swings them around like in Mario 64.
He goes, my. This can't be the conclusion. Well, I guess so, because they're taking that thunder.
It's the
and
climax of the movie.
they're gonna shoot him with his own their gun. Are they gonna
His
say?
gun.
Oh, it's their first line outside of a song. Hey, look, they have a gun, and they might shoot him with it. What could they possibly do? I guess this is that's the poison apple tension. Prince Charming, no.
Ouch. No.
My son. Don't move him around.
That's my boy!
His spine is probably shattered. Don't move him around like that.
And you, Bumble, oh mighty warrior, what have you won? You were too stubborn to think, too busy quarreling to lend ear to the harmony that might have been yours.
That's the thing. I don't really care about him, you know?
He's dead for 30 seconds.
Yeah, how did he not get hurt falling off a cliff? Did the horse just take the fall and die?
He landed in sand.
But what about the horse he had?
It's dead, Jim.
Uh,
Not at all compatible to the death of Snow White.
no. Because that had a better build-up and payoff with her being dead.
And she was actually dead.
Oh my god, this can't be it.
This is fucking lame.
I was so excited to see this one as well. How did this make
Is this
it?
the wedding?
This is the curtain closing in Zelda 2. Oh boy, it's our
I
favorite.
escaped.
Yeah. Well, I guess everything's okay now. Even though we caused trouble for everybody. Oh, I guess we're friends now. Never mind.
Great, and he didn't learn anything. Awesome.
Yeah.
Increasingly, Gulliver.
I don't like this film very much. I think it's fascinating as being one of two Fleischer films, but
You look at it if you're curious. You
yeah.
Look at the schnozzes on these people.
It's almost like they were inspired by a certain Seven Dwarves. Let me play a sad song on the world's smallest violin. He goes, arrivederci, arrivederci. Arrivederci. They're sad that their messiah is leaving. I guess so. That's literally what it is. I guess so. It's a big savior. I'm gonna be real. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Shall we tell them that the boat is out of gas? Gulliver's travels to escape to Africa. Oh my god. Yay. Well, and then I guess he just went home. And didn't tell anyone about these little people. Then he went home and he had a brief lunch, and that was it. Okay, next. Cedric, what do you think of that?
That was ass.
I don't really recommend it. That was disappointing. Because I thought it looked really cool from a distance.
I'm going to bed.
A film I never heard of before. Should have known. Maybe I didn't hear about it for a reason. I don't know. Okay. Next film.